back to the NWA 1983 project. I'm your host, Lex G. Our next matchup is the Universal Heartthrob Austin Idol versus Koko Ware in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Austin Idol, mainstay in Memphis wrestling, but I do wonder why he never got a run in the WWF in the 80s. He looks like someone that Vince would have brought on board. He was a good-looking guy, had good mic skills. He looks like someone they would have put on the roster at the time. Koko Ware, as you may know him as Koko Beware, over the last couple of years he's become a punchline due to the fact that he's in the Hall of Fame. I'm not here to debate that, but the reality of the situation that he was a memorable character and he was solid in the ring, and most importantly he had a connection with the crowd. Plus he brought a parrot to the ring. I like Koko. He was fun. They need more guys like that on the roster today. Now, would he have been in the main event with Hogan? No, but a good guy to have on the roster nonetheless. So that being said, I did promise that we were going to have a WrestleMania preview. As of now, we're about a week away. So let's start with the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. This would be the third one. And to be completely honest with you, it'll probably be on the pre-show. I do wish they attached some sort of additional prize, like a #1 contender slot or a title match on Raw or something. I mean, I understand they want to get as many wrestlers on the show as possible, but they really should be using, this match to elevate someone. Personally, I would actually prefer it being all NXT guys competing for a spot on the full-time roster. I'm just not interested in this match at all. Next up is Kalisto versus Ryback for the United States Championship. I guess the question here is, are they trying to elevate Kalisto? Is he in this match because the roster is thin? I do like Kalisto, and Ryback is getting better, but I can see this match being a botch fest, and it wouldn't be Kalisto's fault. Overall, I'm indifferent about this match. It's not likely that they'll give them a lot of time anyway, but I hope it's a strong win. Our next match is the New Day versus the League of Nations. Now, I love the New Day. I think they're so much fun. They're fantastic. A great crowd reaction. I think those guys are awesome. I'm not a big fan of the League of Nations, and here's the thing about the League of Nations. I feel at least 2 out of 3 guys peaked too soon. They were placed in the main event too early, and now there's nowhere to go with them. Even Sheamus, who recently held the World Heavyweight Championship, there's nowhere to go with him. He's nowhere near the main event, which kind of hurts the championship. And if the bad rumors are true that he's leaving once his contract expires, again, he's just another guy they don't have any plans for. He was okay, but he would never get back to the main event scene without a major character overhaul. I do feel bad for him. He probably deserves better. Somewhere in the upper mid-card heel status, kind of feuding with that babyface that's going to be your next championship contender, and he's not even close to that. Del Rio, on the other hand, he probably deserves better. He's saying to himself right now, I know this. It's like, I came back for this. Really, he's another guy that should be an upper mid-card heel that crosses into the main event if necessary. Now we have Charlotte versus Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks for the Divas Championship. Now this can steal the show if they're given enough time. And please don't put this between the Hell in a Cell and the World Heavyweight Championship match. The women's division needs to be spotlighted and protected. I want a clean winner here without a bunch of run-ins and nonsense. If you trust these women, they will deliver. Just look at what Sasha and Bayley did at TakeOver Brooklyn. Let's not have the typical Divas match, and let's have a women's wrestling match for once on WrestleMania. And up next we have the Usos versus the Dudleys. A perfectly acceptable match here. The only thing I don't know how I feel about the Dudleys as heels. In terms of their status, I don't know if they'll get the right reaction. It's a tough spot to be in, but if anyone can pull it off, the Dudleys can. Funny story, Bubba Ray once spent on my friend in a parking lot after an ECW show, and I was there in Queens one of the times they almost started a riot, so I have faith in them. The match is going to be solid, again, if they get time. When I talk about time, the last couple of WrestleManias, everything felt rushed. I mean, in addition to all these matches with all these guys in them, you have the Hall of Fame segment, you have your musical performance, and you have your long entrances towards the end of the show. It seems like 4 hours is just not enough time. Speaking of a lot of guys, we have our 7-man ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship with Kevin Owens defending his title against the following: Sami Zayn, The Miz, Stardust, Dolph Ziggler, Sin Cara, and Zack Ryder. Now, I agree with most of you who thinks there should be Owens and Zayn in a singles match for the IC title. I think they will put on the Classic. Well, there's always next year, I guess. For those of you who are upset that Zack Ryder's in the match, you're probably the same guys who were complaining about him not getting a push a few years back. So here's the thing about Zack Ryder. He grew up about 30 minutes away from me, so I'm happy for him, even though it's a biased opinion. Stuff like this is why I have a frustration with a lot of wrestling fans out there. I will get further into detail on that in the future episodes. But in terms of this match, I have Owens retains or Sami wins. Either outcome is acceptable and would further that feud. Either way, look for a lot of crazy bumps, and it should be an exciting match. And next, we have a no-holds-barred street fight with Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar. They may have booked themselves into a corner. People want Dean to win, but they don't want Brock to lose. It's a tough spot. I do love the vignettes with Mick Foley and Terry Funk, and I do hope Funk makes an appearance in Mania because it is Texas after all. Should Dean win? I think he should. I'm of the opinion that Dean should be put in a top spot, which would include winning the World Heavyweight Championship at some point. If it was me booking, I would give him a strong win on pay-per-views over guys like Kane, The Big Show, Jericho, in an effort to establish him as champion while we wait for Seth Rollins to return. I feel that Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins could be a modern-day equivalent of Hogan Savage, or Bret and Shawn, or even Austin and The Rock. I think we'll see everything, including the kitchen sink, and I think it'll be a very exciting match. Now we have The Undertaker versus Shane McMahon in the Hell in a Cell match. Like most people, I was excited to see Shane back. I don't really understand why this match is booked this way, though. Do we want Shane to win so we can see him every week on Raw? I think so. Do we want to see Shane beat The Undertaker in the Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania? I don't think so. Could this be the start of some sort of faction that helps him win and go on to battle the Authority? Well, that's very possible. I'm not even sure what the best possible outcome for this match going forward would be. That being said, it definitely has my interest. In the main event, we have WWE World Heavyweight Champion Triple H versus Roman Reigns. This might be the first time that some fans want Triple H to bury someone at WrestleMania. It's interesting, at least to me, that we're at the point now where we talk about if the WWE is going to give so-and-so the belts or a push. We talk more about the creative side or creative aspect of things, like what goes on in the ring. It's not like we're saying, I think Triple H is a better wrestler, or I think Roman Reigns is tougher. We talk about what creative is doing. Could that be a byproduct of the much-loved Attitude Era? Well, that's possible. I do feel bad for Roman. There's a section of the fan base that are very vocal that completely reject him. It's not his fault, and I'm sure he works hard and he's a good dude. Over the years, we've begged and pleaded for someone new. They give us someone new, and we hate it. There were people very early on who were on the Reigns bandwagon, but as soon as he's placed in the main event, we hate him. Why? I think everyone has a different answer. After we ask these questions, has everything been done creatively to ensure that he has a connection with the crowd? Has everything been done to ensure that the fans can relate to them? I can't say yes, but they tried. That being said, is it Roman, or will the same thing happen to anyone that was placed in that spot? Is it a reaction to Daniel Bryan? Or is it that the people in charge are now the top heels and get all the heat, so to speak? All the heat's on the company and not on the wrestler, and I think that's an issue. So what's the right thing to do here? If Roman loses and doesn't walk out of WrestleMania with the belt for a second year in a row, it's going to kill him. If he wins and gets booed out of the building, that's going to kill him too. I don't really understand why they would put themselves in this position where this can happen, but I stay optimistic. I'm hoping for all our sakes that the show exceeds our expectations and blows us all away, and we all can walk away happy for once, but we will see. The reason why I compare this show to WrestleMania 13 is that Mania 13 was the WrestleMania before the boom period. The WWE has all the ingredients now to generate a new boom period, so let's see if they can put it all together. I know it's hard sometimes, guys, but try to stay positive. Well, what are your thoughts on this year's WrestleMania? Leave a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Alright, it's all over. Koko Ware wins with the Ghostbuster in a stunning upset. Since my birthday is coming up, join us next time when I talk about some of the wrestling-related gifts I've received over the years, and some of the places on the net where you can find some of the best wrestling-related items, whether it be DVDs, Blu-rays, action figures, t-shirts, books, and magazines. If you're interested, you can find it. My name is Lex G, and I'll see you next time on the NWA 1983 Project.